Hey guys, I've just finished editing up my Blood Orchid gameplay. I cannot wait to bring it to you, but I still can't tell you the embargo date, but I can say it's very, very close. So anyway, let's talk about the news this week. I'm going to do kind of a little roundup and also give you my opinions on everything. So we've had some really good and bad news. So the good news was Ella's teaser trailer. This was like total fan service making a CG trailer.
It's a brutal, dangerous world out there. But I found my way. Chaos is my home. And I'll make sure you never escape it.
It looks incredible, and they would have had to outsource this, and they would have had to pay a good chunk of money to get this made. And I hope that this will continue for the next DLCs, but it might just be a one-off. You can let me know what you think in the comments below if this will continue. Now, the bad news was obviously the delay to the actual season by a week, but also really bad news yesterday about the maps for the game. So let's first of all talk about the delay. This is something I've hated about Operation Health. It's definitely the worst thing I've felt on Operation Health entirely, and that is the vagueness of everything, the vagueness of all their communications, and how everything gets announced really, really late. So at the start of Operation Health, one of the things they said they were going to do was be more open and better at communicating. And unfortunately, I think that's been a massive failure because everything keeps getting talked about so vaguely and everything keeps getting announced so late. So with the delay to the Hong Kong season, unfortunately it came just a week before it was going to actually come out. Now I understand they must have found something they needed to fix. I'm guessing there's probably a bug that they really need to fix before they launch for the season, and yeah, they're going to take a week to fix it. So I totally understand them. I trust them as well. I totally trust the developers. I think if they need a delay, then I'm actually fine with it. It does piss me off, of course, that it's so late and you know, I'm getting so hyped and then boom, another delay and it's like, oh fuck. But I do trust them. I do think it's the right thing to do, and I'm totally on their side there. Now, let's talk about maps. So yesterday they announced that some of the maps will be getting removed from the game. Now, to begin with, you'll still be able to play these in custom, but they will be getting deleted from the game entirely. Now, they say this is for storage. They don't give anything more than that though. Like, what? Storage of where? Servers? Consoles? What? It doesn't say. So I hate the vagueness. But they also give another reason, which is to reduce the kind of maps for new players to learn. So in casual there'll be 15, and in ranked there'll be 9, which matches up to the Pro League choices, which I totally get. That makes sense. I think having ranked and Pro League be the same is perfectly good idea. I think it's actually a really good idea. But in casual, it sucks to be losing maps. Like, one of the cornerstones of this game that I love about it is variety. So you have huge amount of maps, you have a huge amount of gadgets, huge amounts of weapons, and huge amounts of operator choice. So every single time you play on a different map with different loadouts, different gadgets, up against different enemies with different gadgets and different loadouts, it makes every single game always different and every single round always different. And I love that. That variety is what makes this game great. So to lose some of the maps is terrible, really terrible. And what I really worry about is what happens in the future. Like, if this is a storage issue and we're adding a map every single season, does that mean that every single season we're going to have to lose a map and we're going to just slowly maybe have, I don't know, what would it be, like 20 maps in total perhaps or something, and we can never go over that point? Now, they are reworking on the maps. We've seen this actually announced a while ago now, that they were going to rework all the textures, and they were talking about how it was going to decrease the memory footprint of all these maps. So I guess that was kind of the warning that this was coming, and I got to guess that they knew this was coming. They knew they'd have to take maps out of the game. So I would have preferred back then for them to have said, we're going to be reducing the memory footprint of all the maps because we're going to have to do something because we're running out of space. Like, if they'd actually said that back then and given us a warning that this was going to happen, I think that'd have been way better. And I think they must have known. So whereas I totally trust them when it comes to the delay to the release of Blood Orchid, you know, there must be something they need to get fixed, and I trust them. When it comes to the vagueness of stuff like this for the maps, I'd trust them less, because it's like, why are you doing this? Like, and why is it you only announcing it now when this sounds like it's something you've been planning for a while? So that really annoys me. But overall, I do really trust the developers. So, you know, they've got the game to this point so far. Like, this game should have died at launch, and it's somehow grown to 20 million players. So I think we're doing good here. I'm going to have to also criticize the community a little bit. Like, if you go into like the Reddit or stuff like that, it's just full of rants about the maps getting removed. You know, before that, it was full of rants about the ACOGs getting removed. And it's like, it's always a little bit too passionate. Now, I understand why. I'm equally as passionate about this game. Like, I think a lot of people probably play this game as their kind of main game in their life. And they've probably done that for like the last couple of years now. So I think a lot of people have a huge amount of passion. But it's starting to get a little bit too much, whereas it's not being constructive at all anymore. It used to be, when we had like a nice small community, you know, it was kind of constructive, whereas now it's like very destructive. So I think we just have to sit back and let the developers continue to fix things. Unfortunately, I do think that effectively Operation Health is just going to continue into the Blood Orchid season. All those big fixes that we're kind of thought we were going to get with Operation Health are going to end up in the Blood Orchid season. And that might fuck up development for the new operators, really. Like, if you're having to spend a ton of time fixing the game still, then you're probably going to have a hard time keeping up to the development of the new operators and the new map. So I do hope that that's going to continue without any interruptions. I really would prefer not to see a single delay in the future to any more seasons. Like, I was kind of hoping this was going to be it with Operation Health, and we're going to get, you know, a better foundation. And now it's like, oh, this is kind of scary because things are not going too well. We're getting constant kind of troubles, constant delays. Is this going to be a really bad thing for the game in the future? But like I say, I do think the developers have taken us this far, so I would totally trust them. Like, they know what the hell they're doing. They know what they need to do, and I think they're planning big for the future, because I think they're really fixing this game so that they can do like another, like, honestly, like for another 5 years of content. And I'm totally up for that, because I want to play this game for another 5 years, because I freaking love it. It is definitely my favorite game. It's so complex, and I love that. So I do hope that it continues. And if we have to lose some maps along the way for that to be the case, then I'm okay with that. You know, I'm going to miss Favelas big time, but if I had to lose Favelas to keep that variety coming, then okay, you know, I trust developers, go for it. Anyway guys, tell me what you think in the comments below, and I'll catch you next time.